This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the good folks over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is a great place to find all kinds of legal cannabis products that are properly tested, packaged, and labeled. From super great deals on $15 eighths of flower to high-end vaporizers like the packs, Ease has the whole spectrum covered. Their wide variety of different products will give you the freedom and flexibility to consume your cannabis in whatever way works best for you. Maybe you're more of a concentrates fan, or maybe eating edibles or applying topicals is your go-to mode. Swing over to ease.com to check out if they are active in your part of California, and then if they are, get your order in so you can take delivery in less than an hour. What a world we live in. Just swing over to ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, to see just how easy California legal cannabis delivery can be. Thanks to everyone over at Ease for supporting today's news. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, August 2nd, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 541 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story today was written, as they so often seem to be, by the ever-prolific Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments, who picked up on news that the National Conference of State Legislators, an organization representing state lawmakers from all over the nation, just adopted two new policy directives that call for the federal government to allow states to experiment with legalizing cannabis and to lift prohibitions on banks extending business banking services to state legal marijuana companies. The NCSL approved the two directives yesterday at their big annual meeting. Swing over to Tom's piece for more background on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Time magazine has a great article up looking at the recent embrace of adult use marijuana legalization by Democratic Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, who represents a fairly purple part of Ohio and who is generally considered to be a centrist in his views. Around the same time he announced his support for marijuana legalization, Representative Ryan joined a caucus of lawmakers calling for the adoption of Medicaid for all, leading some pundits to speculate that he's angling towards a 2020 presidential run. Whatever his plans are, this is a politician you probably want to have some familiarity with. Time is reporting that his stated reasoning for supporting legalized adult use marijuana is centered around social justice, the financial benefits of legalization, and the potential for medical cannabis to help fight the ongoing opioid epidemic. We wrap up our top stories today in Illinois, where Governor Bruce Rauner signed a bill into law that would allow school-age medical marijuana patients to consume their medicine while on school grounds, as long as it's administered to them by their parent or guardian. As it stands now, if a parent wants to give a dose of medical cannabis to their child during school hours, they have to drive off school grounds to do so. In order to qualify under the newly signed law, which Rauner put his pen to yesterday, both the parent or guardian and the student patient will need to be properly registered with Illinois' medical cannabis program. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease knows that sometimes it's not easy to make it to your favorite local dispensary. Maybe traffic is crazy or you have company on the way over. Whatever's keeping you tied to the old homestead, Ease has you covered when it comes to getting you top quality legal products that are properly tested, packaged, and labeled. With deliveries taking place in under an hour, it's never been easier to get your hands on legal cannabis flower, concentrates, vape pens, CBD pet products, edibles, topicals, and consumption accessories. Don't delay one more day. Open up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, and get your order started. Assuming, of course, that you're lucky enough to live in a part of California where Ease is active. And if you aren't so lucky to live in a place where Ease can deliver, you can still fire up their website to check out all the valuable bits of industry insight and analysis they've developed using their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream. That's ease.com. All right, time for the blitz. Starting off a two-pack of Marijuana Moment items, we have Kyle Yeager writing about Maryland Democratic Representative Elijah Cummings, who, while appearing on C-SPAN 2, said that marijuana is a gateway drug. Representative Cummings was talking about the opioid crisis and said, quote, "We know that marijuana has been known to be a gateway drug," unquote. Of course, we all know that that's not true in the least bit, as a number of studies have shown that using cannabis will not turn you into a user of other drugs, especially in a world where cannabis is legally taxed and regulated. Marijuana Moments Chris Roberts jumps in next with a well-researched story about the so-called shadow banning of cannabis-related pages on Facebook. Shadow banning is a practice where a page is removed from search and other listings and only available to people who visit it directly. Chris dove into the matter in depth and is reporting that even some cannabis-related government Facebook pages, like that of California's Bureau of Cannabis Control, appear to be on Facebook's shadow ban list. This is a long-running issue for legal cannabis and social media, as similar shadow bans and outright blocks have been dropped on pages and accounts across the industry. For the record, I happen to think that Facebook is a hot pile of dangerous garbage and quit it entirely last year, both personally and as a business. You should probably do the same. The state of Nevada just released a new updated version of the THC warning label that Nevada state marijuana companies will need to print on their product. Pop over to Marijuana Business Daily to see the new design, which I gotta say is loads better than the first draft, which was widely denounced as one that would scale poorly and that was just bad design. Herb is reporting on the story of a raid by the DEA on a vape shop in Amarillo, Texas, that saw the seizure of the store's entire inventory of CBD products and $170,000 in cash from the shop's owner's home. CBD medicine is explicitly legal to use in Texas, but only for a small group of registered patients who live with one of the few qualifying conditions named. CBD still exists in a mostly gray zone in terms of both national and state law, though in April, Texas officials did announce that inspectors from the Department of State Health Services had the right to seize any CBD products sold in stores. Right now, there are just 3 dispensaries licensed in Texas to dispense CBD. Texas is an awfully big place though, so 3 shops may as well be 0 shops for most of its citizens. Marijuana Business Daily is a fantastic longer form piece up looking at some of the factors that are working to slow down the rollout of the legal adult use marijuana industry in Los Angeles, California. We've covered this storyline a lot in recent months as LA's Department of Cannabis Regulation has struggled to smoothly implement the city's transition to legal non-medical cannabis sales. This is probably not a bad read to dive into, even if you're not involved in LA's market. There are certainly lessons to be learned that can be applied elsewhere. Alan Brockstein over New Cannabis Ventures wrote a good story looking at the recent decline in the stock price of Canadian licensed marijuana providers. Alan's one of the leading voices around when it comes to marijuana and stocks and does a good job of parsing out the reasoning for the 13% drop in price seen within the index he created of leading Canadian licensed providers. That 13% drop came in just the month of July and follows on the heel of a general softening of cannabis stock prices. And finally for today, Mary Jane's Chris Moore wrote about a fascinating new product that just launched that is purportedly made up of CBD oil that was derived from a new strain of the hops plant. The company behind the new CBD product says that while most strains of the hops plant don't have any CBD in them, a few that had previously crossbred with wild cannabis had come out of the pairing with the ability to create CBD. I don't know enough about plant biology to really evaluate that one, so feel free to zip me an email to shay@mjtodaymedia.com if you have anything to share on that. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the listeners' ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.